Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. We are going to be watching some more SCP-055 Anti-Meme by SCPOrientation. And as I always say, make sure you watch the original video. I'll post it in the description, I forgot the word, below, and show them all the love and care, because if you like their video, they'll make more videos and I can react to the videos that they're making that you've liked and all that yada yada yada. Following content, the content trend of reacting to one another's content. With that said, let's get into it, shall we, you beautiful bastards?
Item number SCP-055. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Object is kept within a 5 meter by 5 meter by 2.5 meter square room, constructed of cement.
Wait, I need to read that again. 5 meters by 5 meters by 2, so 5 by 5, 5 by 5 by 5. Okay, got you.
5 meter square room, constructed of cement, 50 centimeter thickness, with a Faraday cage surrounding the cement walls. Access is via a heavy containment door, measuring 2 by 2.5 meters, constructed on bearings to ensure door closes and locks automatically, unless held open deliberately. Security guards are not to be posted outside SCP-055's room. It is further advised that all personnel maintaining or studying other SCP objects in the vicinity try to maintain a distance of at least 50 meters.
So it's pretty dangerous that I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, just from going by the containment procedures, it's pretty dangerous.
From the geometric center of the room, as long as this is reasonably practical. Description: SCP-055 is a self-keeping secret, or anti-meme. Information about SCP-055's physical appearance, as well as its nature, behavior, and origins, is self-classifying.
Wait, what?
To clarify, how Site-19 originally acquired SCP-055 is unknown. When SCP-0...
What? Wait, so they have an SCP that they know nothing about. But if they know nothing about it, how do they know how to contain it?
55 was obtained, and by whom, is unknown. SCP-055's physical appearance is unknown.
What?
It is not indescribable or invisible. Individuals are perfectly capable of entering SCP-055's container and observing it, taking mental or written notes, making sketches, taking photographs, and even making audio-video recordings. An extensive log of such observations is on file. However, information about SCP-055's physical appearance leaks out of a human mind soon after such an observation.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! You know what this reminds me of? You know the silence in Doctor Who? The silence, Doctor. It reminds me of the silence, where like you knew what they were when you were looking at them and you could visibly see them, but the second you looked away, it's like you just completely forgot everything about them. But then when you looked back again, you remembered. But then you looked away and you forgot about them. That reminds me so much of this.
Individuals tasked with describing SCP-055 afterwards find their minds wandering and lose interest in the task. Individuals tasked with sketching a copy of a photograph of SCP-055 are unable to remember what the photograph looks like, as are researchers overseeing these tests. Security personnel who have observed SCP-055 via closed-circuit television cameras emerge after a full shift exhausted and effectively amnesiac about the events of the previous hours.
What?
Who
That's
authorized
so
the
weird.
construction of SCP-055's containment room, why it was constructed in this way, or what the purpose of the described containment procedures may be, are all...
I was gonna say, like, so technically they have no idea why it's contained the way it's contained. At all. And they don't know who made that containment, or who... That's so weird.
unknown. Despite SCP-055's container being easily accessible, all personnel at Site-19 claim no knowledge of SCP-055's existence when challenged. All of these facts are periodically rediscovered, usually by chance readers of this file, causing a great deal of alarm. This state of concern lasts minutes at most, before the matter is simply forgotten about. A great deal of scientific data has been recorded from SCP-055, but cannot be studied.
But who recorded the
At least one
data?
attempt has been made to destroy SCP-055, or possibly move it from containment at Site-19 to another site, meeting failure for reasons unknown. SCP-055 may present a major physical threat, and indeed may have killed many hundreds of personnel, and we would not know it. Certainly it presents a gigantic memetic mental threat, hence its Keter classification. Document 050.
So it literally mind fucks people without actually even, like, it could be the safest SCP in the world, but we don't know because we don't know we can't retain information about it, which in itself is actually quite dangerous. This SCP is such a mind trip.
55-1, an analysis of SCP-055. The author puts forward the hypothesis that SCP-055 was never formally acquired by and is in fact an autonomous or remotely controlled agent, inserted at Site-19 by an unidentified third party, for one or all of the following purposes: to silently observe or interfere with activities at Site-19, to silently observe or interfere with activities at other SCP locations, to silently observe or interfere with activities of humanity worldwide, to silently observe or interfere with.
So they think it's an agent. They just can't remember anything about it. It's very strange that they would... Oh, this one's so weird. How are you supposed to know what it is?
Other SCP objects, to silently observe or interfere with. No action to counter any of these potential threats is suggested, or indeed theoretically possible. Addendum A. Hey, if this thing really is an anti-meme, why doesn't the fact that it's an anti-meme get wiped? We must be wrong about that somehow. Wait a minute, what if we were to keep notes about what it isn't? Would we remember those? Bartholomew Hughes, NSA. Document 0.
That's really smart, actually. So if they keep information about everything it isn't, then they can limit down what it is, basically. Because if they remember the information, then the information's wrong. So if they remember all the wrong information, they can narrow down the correct information while still retaining some memory about it because the information they're retaining is wrong. Oh, that's so mind trippy, but I get what it's trying to do. That's really clever. Oh, I like this one.
55-2. Report of Dr. John Marichek. Survey team number 19-055-127BXE was successfully able to enter SCP-055's container and ascertain the appearance and, to some degree, the nature of the object. Notes were taken according to the project methodology, after which the container was sealed again. Excerpt from a transcript of personnel debriefing follows. Dr. Hughes. Okay, I'm going to need to ask you some questions about number 55 now. Interviewee. Number what? Dr. Hughes. SCP Object 55, the object you just examined. Interviewee. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no.
I don't think we have a 55. Dr. Hughes. Okay then. I'd like you to tell me what you've been doing for the past 2 hours. Interviewee. What? Subject appears uncomfortable.
Oh no.
I don't know. Dr. Hughes. Okay then. Do you remember that we all agreed that it wasn't spherical? Interviewee. That what wasn't? Oh, right. It isn't round at all. Object 55 isn't round.
Yeah, so it works. Oh my god, so if they send a team in there to just list a bunch of things it isn't. So if you're looking at it and it's like, oh no, like it's a square, just be like, SCP is not a triangle, SCP is not a circle, SCP, you know, all that lot. Oh, I like this. That's really clever. So they know everything about what it isn't, but they don't know what it is.
Dr. Hughes. So you remember it now. Interviewee. Well, no. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I know there is one. It's something you can't remember, and it's not a sphere. Dr. Hughes. Wait a minute. What's not a sphere? Interviewee. Object 55. Dr. Hughes. Object what? Interviewee: Doc, do you remember agreeing that something wasn't shaped like a sphere? Dr. Hughes:
This conversation.
It appears to be
God.
possible to remember what SCP-055 is not, negations of fact, and to repeatedly deduce its existence from these memories. Personnel involved in Survey 19-055-127-BXE
That is a
reported
mouthful.
moderate levels of disorientation and psychological trauma associated with cycles of repeated memory and forgetfulness of SCP-055. However, no long-term behavioral or health problems were observed, and psych assessments of survey personnel showed consistent reports of this distress fading over time.
Okay, so the SCP, the SCP can't be that dangerous because they entered where it was and then made a whole report of what it isn't. Right, but I feel like if it was dangerous, they would have just died and then, oh man, but what if people have died, but they've forgotten that people have died because they can't remember anything about, oh my god. Oh, it gets so weird.
Recommendations: it may be worthwhile to post at least one staff member capable of remembering the existence of SCP-055 to each critical site. Lesson complete.
So technically, I mean, I just said that it's probably not dangerous because they sent teams in to find out information about what it isn't. But then at the same time, they could just have easily forgotten about the teams that they did send in that it's killed. So we have no fucking idea at all. But I do like the idea of them containing information that it isn't. That was quite a smart little twist to it. And I guess that logically is the only way you could keep this kind of SCP. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a point in this SCP existing if it existed, but we didn't know it existed, because then we wouldn't know it existed to actually mention it existing. So the fact that they can say it exists through listing what, like, it gets so mind trippy, but it is really cool. I like this one, and I feel like my brain's just done a million different flips through the air, acrobatic style, and crash landed on one of those giant fluffy mat things they have. Ugh. I'm going to need to lay down after this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I need to go take a nap. My brain has just died. And I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you like SCP Orientation, the original video. It'll be posted down below. So check that out. Show them some love. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.